The Eagles just beat the Rams 28-22. What does this mean for the 49ers? Well, first, let's talk about it from the Rams' perspective. To beat the Rams, which the Niners didn't do in 2 attempts this season, you got to be able to run the ball effectively, which the 49ers did when they had Christian McCaffrey. I mean, they still averaged 4.7 yards per carry this season, but they weren't committed to running the ball this season. I don't know. They were committed to putting the game in Brock Purdy's hands for whatever reason. But if you're going to beat the Rams and that excellent pass rush that they have, you got to be able to run the ball. The Eagles ran it for 285 yards. So the Eagles are the bigger story here, though, because the Rams, they're a good team. Not a great team. They're a well-coached team, hell of a quarterback. But, I mean, they can't stop the run at all. And they have no real speed on offense. Puka Nacua is a great player. Cooper Kupp is all washed up. Kyron Williams, a really good running back who fumbled in this game. But they need to add a lot of speed to their team to be an elite contender. The Eagles seem to be an elite contender for a couple of reasons. One, they have a great defense. Shout out to Jalen Carter. What a freaking beast. And Vic Fangio, whom the Niners could have had, but they wanted Steve Wilkes instead because the wide nine means that much to them. Also, Saquon Barkley. Wow. He's having like a Terrell Davis type of season. He could be, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, he'll be the reason why. He's having the kind of impact on that team that Christian McCaffrey had on the 49ers. And I think it's what's scary about them from the Niners' perspective is the Niners haven't faced this version of the Eagles. They've beaten the Eagles. They've beaten the Eagles when their lead rusher is Miles Sanders or Kenneth Gainwell, but not when their rusher is Saquon Barkley, who's, I mean, he's as good as any running back out there. He's as good as it gets. And then you add on Jalen Hurts. I mean, the Rams were kind of shameful. They gave up like 3 long rushing touchdowns, and the Niners wouldn't have done much better. So I think going into this offseason, not that the Niners are anywhere near the Eagles level. Sorry. They've kind of backslid. But to get back into it, clearly the Niners need to revamp their run defense because they stand no chance against these teams that are really committed to running the ball. I mean, the Eagles are one. Just wait for the Commanders once they get some better running backs than Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler to pair with Jaden Daniels, who's like the NFC's version of Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, the Niners need to add multiple defensive tackles, good ones. They need multiple linebackers because Dre Greenlaw hasn't proven that he can play a full game without getting hurt since the Super Bowl. Sorry. They need multiple linebackers, multiple defensive tackles, and probably safeties too. They're soft up the middle, which is why they can't stop the run. They need to address all those areas this offseason. That's what they should be taking from this because if they don't, they're not going back to the Super Bowl anytime soon. You got some really dynamic quarterbacks. And you look at like the NFC Championship game is going to be Washington and the Eagles. Maybe the Eagles are the better team now, but Washington has the better quarterback. I mean, watch Jalen Hurts. He's okay. He's a good fit for Philly. But you know who'd be a better fit for Philly? Jaden Daniels. He's a hell of a quarterback. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. It looks like he's the real deal. And once Washington has another good free agency, that's the team to beat in the NFC if they're not already. Can't wait for that game. Now let's go see what happens between the Ravens and the Bills.